busy setting up a tent and thinking about where you're going to pitch and trying to avoid all the bugs. It fairly takes your mind off the fact that you're in a creepy forest next to an abandoned village. I'm walking to the abandoned village of Tolly, which is high in the hills above Glen Nevis. And because it's very windy, there's no midges. I mean, I'm a little bit anxious about the wind and the trees. So yeah, there's no path, but there is this kind of break in the trees that, from memory, that's where it is. It's about 500 metres into the woods here. Oh my god, there's a lot of bracken. This bracken was not here before. I've spotted the remains of the first house, and there's another one. There's some more through here. And there's my wee home for the night. Right, it's oh god, there's another bloody bug. Right, it's 1:45. There are bugs everywhere. I've got some great pictures of the tent, I think. Now, I mean, luckily they're not clegs or midges. They're just like flies. And there's quite a lot of spiders as well. And I stupidly had the tent door open because it looked nice with this light spilling out. And I've been running about in the woods. I got quite excited about how nice the tent looked in the dark against the woods. So I've just like hurled everything into the tent. It's all in a gigantic big guddle. I don't know how I managed to do, I think I did 65 or 66 nights of camping in this tiny little tent. And I've already got used to Big Agnes and being able to sit up and not have my head brushing against the ceiling. It's 7:30. I'm completely astonished. I slept like a log. Kind of wake a little bit because it was very windy, and I now and then I woke up and I thought, gosh, I hope no trees fall on my tent. What a place to wake up. The wind's died down lots. Everything's covered in moss. This right here is the outline of one of the houses. These lumps, that's all the walls, and the wood's completely covered in moss. And just behind me, there's the wall of another house. Through the trees there, there are another 2 houses in the trees there. Stream over there, and what looks like might have been a well dug beside the stream, which was perhaps their drinking water. Probably the cause of them all dying. It's very peaceful. There's one up there, one there. My little house. A big outline of a house there. There's one there that has a tree planted right in the middle of it. And that's probably the biggest one there. The story goes that in the mid-1800s, there was a community of about 10 homes that lived up here, and apparently they made dye for cloths. And in those days, Spanish boats came to Fort William to trade, and there's a story that a girl from Tolly went down to trade with the Spanish boats and caught an illness, possibly cholera, and brought it back to the village, and they all died, and the village was abandoned and just left. And then the Forestry Commission planted trees all over it in the 70s. That's the creepy village done. Now I'm going to go for an adventurous walk up Glen Nevis. This plant, this bog myrtle, it smells so nice. It's a lovely smell. I mean, people say that if you rub bog myrtle on your skin, it will deter midges. It's absolute rubbish. Of course it doesn't. Hardly anybody knows how to find this cave. I only know because I grew up here, and there's no path. You've got to kind of make your way up this steep hillside through tons of bracken, which is just horrific, but off we go. I had one huge tick crawling on my arm on the way up there. Then I put my camera on to film myself speaking, and there's a bloody tick crawling on my cheek. One huge tip I have for avoiding ticks is not to wear black clothes. Once you get the thought that there might be a tick in your ear, it's very hard to get rid of it. Sliding in is the way to do it. Oh. In the 15th century, the McSorleys of Glen Nevis invited the visiting Clan Chattan to a feast to put an end to a feud, but a disgruntled piper played the clan's war song called "Come Hither, Children of the Dogs." So the Clan Chattan, furious, gathered on a nearby hill called the Hill of Evil Counsel, which is actually behind Glen Nevis Youth Hostel, and they returned to massacre the McSorleys. A housemaid grabbed the chief's baby son, Samuel, and hid in this cave with some of the clan's heirlooms, which allowed Samuel to identify himself many years later. Yeah, now I've got to go back down through all that bracken. I hate walking through bracken. But the good thing about going downhill is you can kind of use your feet to flatten the bracken in front of you a bit. If I'm going to go sliding down the hillside, I may as well have it on film so everybody can tell me how irresponsible I am. This is how I spent my childhood, wandering about Glen Nevis all over the place. I'm not kidding. I grew up just a couple of miles from here. Oh, this has been a very steep climb. I've been going uphill for about 45 minutes and I'm almost at the top. The top of Steall Falls. I think that's the UK's second highest waterfall. Down here, the sharp precipice that I'm not going to go near the edge of is the Glen Nevis gorge. It's time to cross the wire bridge. It's over the water.